Hello friends and welcome to my channel. In this video I will make a 100% original project. I will recycle this LED TV with broken display, and I will make from it Wi-Fi controlled bright picture to put on the wall. Now I will show you what I have here. This is a case from a TV with a broken display. The kids took it down and this fell down and the display was bad. I took off the display, I took off all the parts inside, and now it's an empty case. I bought this LED, 12 volts LED. Here it's a 12 volts power supply, 12 volts 1 amp. This is a usual Wi-Fi Sonoff relay. This is normal. And this is modified by me, and I show what I modified. I took off this relay because I don't need isolation from the command part and the load part, and I replaced this SMD transistor with this NPN BJT transistor with big current, at least 1 amp collector emitter current. This needs 5 volts supply, and I will use this step down from 12 volts. I will make 5 volts for this relay, and 12 volts from here I will put to the LED. Now let's begin. Now you can see the naked TV. I will take down this paper because I want to put the strip LED on the metal part, and I will use this for cooling. I cannot use the original LED backlight because it's not 12 volts power supply, needs big voltage and big current, and that's why I will not use it. Now I will put these LED strips. Original backlight has 2 rows. I will put here in 4 rows. As you can see, I put the LED on position. If it's not enough, I can put another 3 between them, another 3 rows. I soldered the wires, and now I will make a test. It's 12 volts and 0.6 amps. Now let's put this. As you can see, the lights are visible, so I have to double the rows, and I put another 3 rows. I doubled the rows, and now let's see. In this angle you can see the lights, but if I turn this, Now first step is ready. As you can see, it's taking 12 volts and 1 amp. Now I put everything together. I soldered the wires to the LED strips and I put these output wires with a GST connector. Now you can see the final step. Here is the power supply. This is the connector for power supply. So this is the power supply. This is the step down. It's adjusted to 5 volts. Yellow wire, it's 5 volts. Red wire, it's 12 volts. This it's the BGT that I replaced the original one, and this is the output connector. The schematic is very simple. This is the input 12 volts. Input 12 volts enters in the step down module, adjusted to 5 volts. 5 volts is the power supply of this Wi-Fi relay. The output of this Wi-Fi relay is connected to this NPN BJT with current more than 1.5 amps. And this transistor, when it's closed, gives voltage to this 12 volts LED that will be bright. It's very simple. Now I put everything, I will mount all together and I will make some tests. Now I put all the parts together. I forgot to tell you something very important. This reset switch should be accessible. When I will make the settings, I should press this button, reset button. For settings, you can find all the steps to set this in my previous video about Wi-Fi relay in my playlist. Now this is the first test. It's not perfect, but I think it's good enough. You can see when I press this reset button, it's turned on and off. So it's perfectly working. Now I have to pair with my app and with my Alexa. I was in the rush to test this device and I forgot to check something very important. I forgot to check if this transistor is warm or not. And during the test, I checked this and this was warm. And I needed to put a heat sink. Minimum 5 square centimeters. Now I will test on this power supply. When it's off, the current is 0.04 amps. or 0.4 watts. Let's bright this, let's turn this on. When this is on, the current is too small, it's only 0.3 amps. Let's test the voltage. On the LED, instead of 12 volts, we have only 9 volts. And that's because on this transistor we have a drop of voltage of 3 volts. First of all, I will put a small heatsink. And if it's not working good, I will change the transistor with a more powerful one. Even with the heatsink, the drop of voltage is too big. So I'll have to exchange this transistor. Now you can see the difference when I put the full voltage on the LED. 12 volts, 9 volts. 12 volts, 9 volts. I've replaced that BJT with this low-level MOSFET. And now let's make some tests. Now let's measure the input voltage. Input voltage 12 volts. Now 5 volts. 5 volts. And now let's turn this on. It's turned on. Let's measure the voltage on the LED. That's 12 volts. Let's measure the drop of voltage on the MOSFET. That's 25 millivolts. That's good. Now let's check if the MOSFET is warm. It's not warm at all, it's cold. Now let's measure the gate voltage. Gate voltage is 2.7 volts. That's why we need a low-level MOSFET. Because usual MOSFET don't close at this small voltage. And this is ground. This is output. This MOSFET doesn't need heatsink because it's very cold. Now I'll put everything together again. Now I put the TV on the wall And in front of the TV I put this picture, but it's just for test. In the final version I will print a landscape to cover all the display. Now I show you how it's working. I paired this Wi-Fi relay with my phone and I named this device peak. You can see the supply cable, but you can hide the cable, or you can put 3 batteries from laptop that will keep few months. Now I turn on and off from this. This is on, off. And also from Alexa. Alexa, turn on peak. Alexa, turn off peak. Now it's a powerful light in this room, and I will turn off the lights and make some tests how this shows in the night. Now it's not completely dark, but let's see how this works. Alexa, turn on peak. Alexa, turn off peak. Alexa, turn on peak. I can add to this device a lot of features. I can put Bluetooth speakers and connect the Bluetooth speakers with my phone or my laptop. Or this Wi-Fi relay has a lot of scenarios in settings. You can put this in a kid's room and set it to turn off automatically in 1 hour after the kids fall asleep. I think this is perfect for night light or wake light. You can put a landscape, animal prints, anything that you like. Please tell me in the comment what you think about this project and what improvement we can do to this project. I hope that I've inspired you to make yourself a project like this, because it's fun, it's useful and it's very cheap. Total cost was for me about €5, so it's very cheap. I hope that you find this helpful. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video.